Hi, Yonela.
Hey, Vitri.
How are you?
I'm doing well by God's grace. And how are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I feel tempted to ask you to do those exercises where let's yeah.
Yes, why not?
Where no okay. But thank you for coming. Thank you for joining. For people that don't know, my name is Victory, and I run a company called Chic Marketplace, and we have these occasional sessions where we invite guests, and we're trying to create this awareness around running a real business in South Africa. For most people, running a business is what they see online. So they see the lights, they see the glamour, they see the recognition, like, oh, top 50 under 50. But there's a grind.
That's correct.
Right. There's a grind. It's possible, but there's a grind. And we're trying to create more awareness to people who have paved the way with the grind. And so we try to have these conversations so that in these conversations, people can learn and pick up pointers here and there and see how they can apply it, or even ask the question if business is for them or not.
Oh, yes.
Cool. So they don't find out the hard way. Cool. So this is Yonela. I don't know if you want to introduce yourself to the audience, but I know you as an entrepreneur, a speaker, right? I'm an author, if I'm not mistaken, and yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a few things you are involved with, but I'll let you do the honor so I don't do you injustice.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you so much, firstly, for having me here, Vitri. This is Yonela. I'm the founder of Ndiyazazi, I Am Enough. And Ndiyazazi is a Xhosa word, and its meaning is I know myself, I am enough. It's a private company. Under it, there's so much that is happening about the company and the brand itself, which I'll elaborate on it a bit later. But in a nutshell, this is Yonela Nongwe, and I'm an upcoming author. My book is coming out very soon. Yay!
You heard it here first, by the way. New book coming. New book announced through you.
Very, very soon.
Okay.
And I'm also going to have a radio personality at Radio 741 FM in Mama Spray. I'm based at that site, but originally I'm from the Eastern Cape. I'm an event organizer, a counselor, professionally a M&S.
Wow. That is new information. And I've known you for about a year now, but okay.
Yes.
Thank you for that. And you just mentioned a series of things, of hats that you wear.
That's correct.
And this is something I try to paint to people when I tell them to not watch too many motivational speakers. When motivational speakers, especially the business guys, especially the Europeans and Western culture, they talk about business under the assumption that you're focusing on one thing.
That's correct.
Right. Well, in Africa, the Africa that you and I know, one thing is not going to pay the bills, right? There's what needs to pay the bills today.
That's correct.
And there's also something that needs to be for the future. So maybe my first question is, if there's one thing that you would say that keeps you, I guess, sane, what's the one advice you give for people who are trying to juggle multiple things at the same time, trying to just meet ends meet?
I would say, because I've just mentioned so many things that I am doing, I would say focus more onto the purpose, because that is what is going to keep you going. Sometimes we're more focusing on money. Yes, we need money on our daily basis, but if you are doing something that is not making you happy, you will always be frustrated. So in everything that I've just mentioned now, everything is connecting the dots to my purpose.
Wow. There was a word you mentioned there about happiness.
Yeah.
And I think it means a lot of things to different people. You and I know that entrepreneurship doesn't always go according to plan.
Nah.
I mean, there was a period, I think late last year, where you told me some really bad stuff that happened with the business.
Yes.
Right. So when stuff like that happens, does that still count as happiness? Is it a question of the end goal makes the bad situations worth it? Or is it a case of when something bad happens and you see that, hey, it's not really worth it, cut your losses?
There's a say or a quote that says your attitude determines your altitude. When that tragedy happened in my business and in my company, losing one of my employees, it made me to have a different perspective, and the attitude that I had when I was starting. Obviously, it was shaken, but the altitude that I had in mind, where I wanted to go, it is what kept me going at that moment,
Mhm.
because I had the goal and I knew I am entering a space where it is a space that has got few women, which is construction. And when I am in that space, I didn't needed to put my emotions more into it, because us as women, we are known as people that are emotional. So I had to put the altitude and change my attitude differently and not put emotions up front. And that's what had kept me since that time. So I'm having that different now attitude and the vision concerning my goals and in our company as well.
Well, I like emotion part, and you say women, but I've not been in business as long.
Mhm.
But one thing I've noticed, and I've struggled with a lot of like collaborators and so on, is when things don't go their way, they tend to
Yeah.
throw tantrums.
Mhm.
So they never actually say, "This is what's wrong."
Mhm.
It's always,
I know.
and it's like,
No solution.
no, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What's the answer? Like, yes, this is what's wrong.
It was such an emotional moment where I needed to be emotional at that moment. And you are in a space where you have to take a decision right now.
Mm.
And it was very awkward for me. I needed to be sound.
Mm.
Because there's a decision that I needed to take. Other employees are injured. In order for them to be helped at the private hospital, I needed to give the go ahead. The other one is fighting for his life. I needed to be there. The family is crying out loud. So, throwing tantrums, it's part of us as a human being. But at the same time, when you're an entrepreneur, you need emotional intelligence.
So let me ask, did you like study any emotional intelligence course per se, or is it just a thing of you had to learn the hard way?
I've learned it the hard way, and
Okay.
again, because of the healthcare background that I've got.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there seems to be like a naturally empathetic
That's correct.
part where also you probably deal with a lot of people who would like try to throw tantrums because of
And
situations
you
and
just have to.
you manage it.
Yeah.
And okay. So in the from a business side of things now, how let's put numbers to I'm a numbers guy. To what percentage, let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, like how important would you say emotional intelligence is to doing business in general? Is it like a big part of business, or is it something that you can afford to not,
It's a huge.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a huge one,
Okay.
because once you're putting more of your emotions into a business, then you are putting yourself up for failure, because you will be taking most of the time of your decisions based about your business based on the emotions, which emotions are fluctuating. Today you are happy, tomorrow you're sad. Like this morning, I was getting overwhelmed about organizing 2 events into different provinces. And one of the ladies just sent me something that has just shifted everything.
Okay.
And I was looking forward to be here.
Oh wow. Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
we changed the mood. Yay, hooray. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you. Thank you for that. Well, I mean, I feel like in just a short time we've learned like quite a bit of how you think about business and pursue things. Now, just maybe to go back a little bit on purpose, because I think that ties into the event coming up.
Yes.
You talked about purpose, right?
Correct.
And there's a few again, I know you're doing quite a bit. For example, there's the radio personality side.
Yes.
There's the events as well, which is very social impact driven for
Right.
specifically for women and identity and stuff like that. But I'm trying to find what brings it all together. I know there's the person,
Yes.
right? But what's that background that we're missing that makes you want to continue doing all these things?
Like, I cannot say anything without mentioning purpose
Okay.
and authenticity. It has been the purpose that has been driving me to do what I am doing. It is so strange, yet I am excited about it. It's like there's something that is being born out of me, which I embrace. I am embracing it each and every day. I recently discovered my purpose.
Wow.
Which is something that I believe everybody needs to look at it. Hence, I am making noise about people discovering themselves and discovering their purposes. I myself, it's been now since this brand was born about 2 years ago. I was a nurse, like I was said in the beginning, but something was just making me frustrated in my career. I felt like there is something that is more that I am limiting myself with by being in that career. In as much I was working in a private hospital, you get to be exposed much, but I got bored at what I was doing. And I just wanted to be out there and explore new things. And I remember sitting down with my husband and saying, you know what, I think I am at the point where I need to go and try how does the business world works, being an entrepreneur. And remember, I'm coming from a career-driven background. I don't have any background when it comes to business, but I was just so passionate on going into it. And I believe that that is what has brought me to where I am, the purpose and the passion. And since then, I resigned from my nursing job before COVID starts, 2019. And up until now, I haven't gone back to nursing. And because the purpose and entrepreneurship, running it in a box, it has been the one that has been keeping me going. And like I said earlier on, what has birthed so many things that are now showing off, in a nutshell, about Yonela, it is coming from my purpose.
Wow. You mentioned something I could relate with there, the corporate lifestyle. And then, I believe personally, I mean, we can't say your nursing background wasn't a key part of where you are now. So it's not to say it's useless.
No.
It had a place.
It had a place and it still
has a place.
That's correct.
But it sounds like there's an element to say it's time now.
Yeah.
Because nothing lasts forever.
No.
So what would you say for people who, for example, they feel stuck, but because they have all these big bills, they don't think there's a better way out? Or would you say that if you had stayed, what would have changed? What do you think would have been different if you had stayed and not made that decision to take the chance and take the risk and branch into business?
I would say evolving is the best. Okay. If I would have stayed now, being a nurse in that private hospital and circled into that salary for each and every month, I believe I would have deprived many people's purposes, deprived many people's jobs. I've got employees in my company, and there are families that are fed out of that. I would have aborted people's dreams because I'm also doing mentorship under the brand. There is so much that would have failed, not failing myself alone, but many. So if you are having this zeal of putting a feet or taking a step up out of faith, do it. You will never know what is ahead of you. And I always say, if it's not now, then when? And if it's not you, then who? And evolving, like I said, it is the key.
Yeah, there's something there that the concept of you've been given a gift to do something.
Yeah.
But you choosing to not take that step to evolve is technically selfish.
It is.
Because that thing that could have done more for 10, 50 people, employment you could have created for 10 people, you kept it to yourself to create employment for one.
Yeah.
And we've seen quite a bit. We're very new to the business scape, by the way. We thought business, the hard part was going to be sales and revenue and technical problems and fix a bug on software. Where I feel like the biggest challenge has been people.
Yeah.
Where, keyword there, the selfish part. People want to keep stuff for themselves.
That's great.
People don't want to give.
No.
Right. But then, how do you teach someone to give? Right. Think of it from an African landscape. The way I see, and this, maybe I'm a bit too harsh sometimes, I know this, so bear with me a little bit. But growing up, the thing I've always heard is, what can people give me?
Yeah.
What can the government give me?
Mm-hmm.
What can the companies, why can't the companies give me more salary? Why can't they employ me? But it's never, how can I create employment? Or how can I help the government? Or how can I create jobs? So how do you think we can challenge that mindset in Africa? Because I feel like it's even started before my father's time.
Yeah.
What would you say is the best way to sort of change that mindset across the African continent?
I would say it starts with me and you showing up as people from Africa the next generation. In my generation and where I'm coming from, I'm still the first person in my family that has became a founder of a company and doing what I am doing. So it took me to be stubborn about bringing the change that I wanted to see. I didn't look at the next person that is looking forward to get a 250 from the government. But I wanted to remind even the next generation coming after me. I've got a program that I'm doing in my village where I gather the small girls and teaching them what I'm doing, because I want to see more Yonelas coming from my village where are going to go out there and show up for themselves and not limiting themselves based on their background, based on their color of their skin, based on their upbringing, but they must just show up for themselves to bring the change. I know we are used to being spoon-fed. Even some of them, I will always even ask questions. If you happen to get pregnant now and you were raised by it's the grant from government. So what do you want to see as a change? Because I want them to have that open mindset that you can't be raised by a grant fee, then you are also going to do the same to your kids. There must be a difference, and you need to be that different.
Yeah. It's not the government's fault. It's not.
It can never be a government.
Yeah.
Government is government, and you are you.
Yeah. So something at Jig that we do, probably this is like an ad break of some sort, I guess.
Yeah.
But one of the things we're trying to push is this thing of, at least on the business side,
That's right.
you could do government grant, which is like, I think like 350 per month, or you could just build something like sell tomatoes for 10 rand a month. You actually make more than 350.
Yeah. You are reminding me about something. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no, that's.
I recently posted something this week. I think it was last week, if it was not this week, where I was sharing how my mother raised me out of the money that she used from selling oranges. And like now you are saying.
Yeah.
I even got the nickname that she gave me as Noma Orangey. Because,
No, oh, wow.
Yeah, because that is the money that she used to raise me out of the oranges that she was selling. But that doesn't mean that selling oranges, you must still start and sell oranges. Even the children coming after you must sell oranges.
Yeah.
I had to be sitting here today and be proud to be called Noma Orangey and have to tell a story where I'm coming from with the name Noma Orange. But today, I'm not only Noma Orangey, but also I'm a founder of my own company.
Amen to that. Wow, that's very inspiring. And I think maybe I should take a moment as well to appreciate the parents. And I know our generation, there's this huge emphasis of, quote unquote, men are trash. But there were some parents that they didn't have a lot.
Yeah.
But they gave the best they have. And I think it's just a small moment to say thank you. My parents, they sold bags and bread and all these things on the side. I think they even went to farms at some point where they would plant food and transfer from the village to the city just to give us that. For me, for example, it was like private school education, right? So thank you, mother, father, if you're watching this. Thank you, guys. And thanks to you. Are they still... They are both. Oh, great.
May they
Thank the Lord.
So rest in peace.
Yeah.
But to all the mothers and the fathers that have played a huge role.
Big role.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
And
that are still playing that role.
Yes, absolutely.
Big ups to them.
Big ups to them. And you're absolutely right. There's a place where selling oranges gets you.
That's correct.
And it will be selfish for you to stay there because you now have to take that next level, whether it's bulk oranges and take it to another level where I think the scriptures talk about how the wise parent leaves something for the third generation. So the idea is, what's the growth?
Yeah.
Right? What's the step up? What's the next step? And hopefully the Lord gives us the wisdom and the patience and the strength to execute that. Okay. Now, going back to the purpose, I mean, I was in the charismatic circles for a bit. Maybe I'm going a bit into religion, but there was different definitions,
Mm-hmm.
right? There was this one by this pastor, I can't remember, Miles Monroe. I think he talked a lot about it.
Mm-hmm.
But the challenge I always had then, it was always like a buzzword. But what does it actually mean? Or at least maybe in this case, for you, what does, if you say you found your purpose? If well, I know it can't be one line. I know, and it's
Yeah.
probably gonna be a long.
Yeah.
But what would you point out? Is it like a series of things? Is it like a passion for something or a group of people? What does that look like? What is that?
Okay. Purpose is personal.
Okay.
In as much as I'm married and I've been married for 40 years, but my purpose, I know. Purpose is very personal, and I cannot say my purpose is the same as my husband's.
Okay. Yeah.
And purpose, when you mention the word purpose, people are probably thinking, like, how do I solve that equation as to how do I discover my purpose? Like I said, it's personal. I got to know who I am first. Who is Yonela, and why are you here on earth? That's when the journey started on discovering my purpose. And today, when I am putting the dots after discovering who I am and why I am here, everything now is answering to the purpose that I got to discover. There's a solate, or the tranquility that I got to discover or experience when I am doing what I'm doing under the brand that I am doing. I am owning. I'm hosting events where I'm gathering women for them to be empowered. But in as much as it is costing time and is taking so much out of me, there is a peace that I got to have in my heart that is giving me that fulfillment after doing it. Now, like I mentioned earlier on, that if I didn't leave the nursing career, I would have deprived people's purposes and destinies, because there are families now that got to be fed under this company that I am owning. And that is giving me the fulfillment. So, like I said, it has to do with you as a human being and as an individual person. And sometimes we feel or we think, once Yonela can do it, once Victory can do it, I can also do it. No, that's not how it works. We can be both entrepreneurs. We can be both having the same concept, but it can never be the same. Mine will be unique and yours will be unique in your own way. That's why I would go out there and see people doing whatever that is similar to Ndiyazazi, but it can never be Ndiyazazi. Ndiyazazi was born out of my own personal purpose.
Okay. You mentioned the events.
Yes.
The events. So I know there's events that happen like, I don't know, every month or every other month.
Yes.
There's like drinks, people are at retreats. Question one, just asking for a friend now. Are guys invited? Oh, okay. I'll be sure to tell my friend.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
More women driven events.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you say? What would you say is the key output for this event? So if, for example, Sandy wants to participate in this event, what should she look to expect at the end of the event?
I would say, because I'm hosting different events with different concept.
Okay.
Like now, the upcoming one will be women in business, focusing on networking and collaborations. But the mission and the vision behind all these events is to gather women to fix each other's crown, and also building a strong sisterhood.
Okay.
So in that atmosphere and in that space, outside the business or outside the gatherings, there's a sisterhood that I felt it is missing in this in generally in life. There was a point in my personal life journey where I needed the sisters that I could pour out with the journey that I had to go through, but there were no people that I could trust, in as much as everybody was around me. And I had family, I had sisters, but I couldn't have that person that I can pour out and be myself around and be authentic as much as I can. So I would have to be wearing this mask and everybody will see me as a strong person. But I needed to just be vulnerable and be myself. And where I would say, you know what, in as much as I'm owning a company, but girl, I need now a 10 rand for bread. Not a person would be like, but you're owning a company. What do you mean? So it's just that strong sisterhood that I'm always striving for, and women fixing each other's crown and not crushing each other's crown, because we are known as those people that are cruel to one another. But I'm trying by all means and by God's grace to bring that trust back, us among women.
I could definitely relate to the whole I need 10 rand for bread, and it's like,
Yeah.
Bro,
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Like, I remember.
Post now?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty. I mean, and again, this is a reality of business that people don't realize.
Yeah.
The thing is, when they see business, when they see you on camera, the assumption is they're doing well.
Yeah.
Right. And again, it doesn't mean you're not doing well. It's just the metrics are very different for business. Success for business, or at least in the early stages, I've not gotten to a place where there's millions of rand every day in my account. That's it. Maybe that's a different world. But the metrics, but the metrics for a successful business, for example, in our case, in tech, are people using your product and are they engaging with it? So you might post that on your stories and WhatsApp, and already they're like, this guy has made it. Why won't he give me a 200 rand loan? And I'm like, yo, bro, that's my petrol for the week, right? There's no guarantee that I'm going to get more than that 200. So you're asking me for a 200. It's not that I don't want to give you. I wish I had, but it's not there. And I must say I'm blessed to have like a family that maybe like understands, but I know it's not the same for people like, in the villages and the townships, because they see the clothing, they see the camera work, but they don't realize you're collaborating with the camera person. They think you've paid 80,000 rand for a production. Yeah. But a lot of the time it's collaborations and partnerships. And for example, you mentioned this case now, it sounds to be like this upcoming event has to do with creating an environment for women to help each other, support one another through business development.
That's right.
Okay. So ideally for someone, say Sandy, who runs Dean Nature, it sounds like her participation means an opportunity to, I guess, make more business connections.
That's correct.
Okay. And you're saying the other events now are more around what? Social? The thing is, I'm terrible at women conversations, so I might be asking the wrong question. Yeah. But is it the case where everyone is like holding hands and crying? Or is it the case where it's like a therapy-ish kind of session? Or is it like a case where, this Alcoholics Anonymous, where it's like, hi there, I'm Victor, I'm an alcoholic. Is it, what does that look like for someone who, would find value in this event?
It's more focusing on your well-being.
Okay. We
hardly got to be honest. For example, if somebody asked me this morning, how are you? And I will be quickly say, no, I'm good. And how are you? But deep down, I know I'm not okay. I'm really not okay. And if somebody now is going to look at you and in your eyes, Vitri, how are you? How are you really? How are you? Yes. So the more of these events are more focusing on wellness and the inner person. We're depriving the inner person so much. And when we show up, everybody's saying this. And when they say this, then they think all is well. Yeah. But sit down with me and ask me, how are you? And then that's when you will get to know how am I and who I am.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, guys also want that. This friend of mine, I'm sure he would find value in, but it's not okay. So is there a future where we see an extension for men, or even men and women in the same place for Ndiyazazi?
There's been so many requests.
Many requests.
There's been so many requests for organizing for males as well. And back at home, I've got the girls and the boys. Okay. Hopefully in the future I will be able to have the space open now for men as well. Yeah, I think I will probably never put them in one room, but having 2 different sessions for the future.
Okay, that's like I said, a friend of mine, I'm sure he'll be interested in something like that for his friends as well.
Yeah,
and I will let him know definitely.
I think I will have to firstly get to do the smaller sessions for the guys, because one thing I've realized with the males, they are closed up into emotions because they want to be a man.
I've heard that before. I've been accused of that before. And maybe this is not the platform to unpack that.
Yeah.
But
it's okay.
What I can say is this: men are more action driven.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll speak for myself. I'm more of a, you can tell how I feel the way I act. So just as a general example, if I don't like something, I'm going to act negatively. And if I like something, I'm going to act positively towards it. It's like a human, I feel like that's standard. But sometimes I hear the men are closed off. Is it that we need to say that in words, the negative feeling part, or is it a thing of there's more to that?
There's more to that.
Oh,
I
okay.
think, like I was saying, the also the message that I'm sending it out there is for us now, as this generation doing the corrections. We need to do the corrections. We cannot have the same generation that cannot open up when it comes to emotions. When you're getting married to a person, that's what I've realized and learned with the women that I've dealt with now. Obviously, there was a father that was absent in your life, and you got to be married now to this husband that also never had the father growing up. Now you are both meeting up, and you have to build your own life and raise your own children. You both then don't have the background, and you don't know how to be a father yourself, but now you are positioned to be a leader, and you're positioned to be a father. And now me coming, never had a figure father in my life, but now I'm expected to submit to a man that has never been in my life, who has never taught me how to treat my mom right.
Yeah.
And obviously those traits are going to pop up in between. And could it be why there's so much divorce in our generation? But we're not there.
No, you mentioned, and again, I feel like these things are a bit important. There was a 1 year where me and I think my sister Glory, we were working at TPT camp. I was still like a master student there. And we actually just did a number like of our friend group and circles. Like, how many of us can just say that both parents are still together 40, 50, 60 years later? And it's like, geez, the percentage was low, like very, very low. And it's like, okay, it explains a lot, you know, the crimes. We've seen all the studies about prison data, and it's. But again, these are the little things personally that I feel that influence keep Africans in our state. There's a reason why we are not able to grow. I feel like there's too much wickedness and too much. If the Lord has mercy on us, I think it will change, and that's the prayer point. That maybe one day the Lord will turn our hearts towards the right decisions and righteousness. And again, I think that's more of a biblical conversation.
Yeah.
But one day, again, I feel like everything is important, but spiritual, physical, you can't separate. Yeah, you can't separate them. And okay, just give us a brief of when the event is, or rather the audience, when the event is, how they can attend, what the logistics are. Maybe there's a phone number or a website, or WhatsApp, whatever, or any information that you think would be relevant for them to join this event.
Okay. So the event is happening on the 17th of May 2025 at Sekiri City, which is in Cape Town, at Idaka Island. It's a beautiful venue full of tranquility. You think differently when you're in that atmosphere, which I've chosen perfectly for the event, which is for womenly business. Open for networking, collaborating. And I know us as women, we hardly even go out and be around people. So this is another opportunity for you ladies to be out there and just to meet up beautiful ladies. And we show up beautifully as well, and showing up for yourself. I always say in my language, "Siomba," which means you're going to show up beautifully for yourself, and not only for yourself, actually, also for your business. So the event is got two beautiful, amazing women that are going to be joining me on that day. Her name, both names. Her name, firstly, is Christine. Christine is a founder of Open Space Africa, an amazing lady that everybody I know will love her. When you look at her, you'll feel like, can you say more? Can you say more? That's Christine, and she's a lady that's also a lover of horses. So she is a combo. She's a combo. And I've got Unumi Sam Kabile, a real hustler. Everybody in Kailicha and surroundings knows about her. She is a woman that doesn't take no for an answer when it comes to hustling. She can sell anything, that woman, and turn it out into a business. So she's the person that I chose it perfectly for those who are still thinking, yes, I'm in the corporate, but do I need to sell anything? Will it me selling something not make me look like I'm desperate or I'm putting my profession down? You will get to know that day that selling, it is not by disgrace. We all need now extra income, be it you are in corporate, be it you've got a profession, but somehow we got to shift a mindset and knowing that your career and your profession can never be handed over to your children, but your business can be handed over to your children. So we got to be taught about those certain things on that day. But if you got to want to buy your ticket for that day, you can reach out to my number, which is 083 699 7051. That is the number that you can get hold of me via phone or also WhatsApp, 083 699 7051. And also I've got a poster on my Facebook pages, which is Ndiyazazi. That is a Facebook page on under the company and or under the brand. And also my name on Facebook is Yonela Nongwe Mneno. And on Instagram is Yonela Nongwe.
Thank you very much. What's your
the fee? I forgot my
Oh yeah,
fee.
oh, yeah.
Very important. Very important. The fee is 280 and it includes the refreshments and the speakers for the day. It's just going to be an amazing time. I've got also the collaborators.
Yes, shout out to the business
Zuke.
guys.
Yeah. I'll be having Zuke as our partner and also Habiza. So on our welcoming, we will be having a tasting station for teas. So Habiza is a company that is based in Mamasbury, where I'm coming from. The lady is having these different teas products.
Okay. Nice.
So we're going to have the taste of those, and she'll be selling them as well on that day.
All right. Well, thank you very much. But I was actually also going to ask about how much it cost. Okay, you said it's not for guys, so
yeah.
Okay.
Not this time.
Not this time.
Maybe next time.
Okay. But thank you for that. And maybe as we round up, just again, like you mentioned a few things about business and hustle, and there's definitely a lot of overlap. And I know we had this conversation as well last year, where there's the hustling side of things, but there's also the longevity side. Like, can this hand to mouth thing be handed over to a child?
Yeah.
Right? You know, and that's where we try to play in from a CEO perspective. So as we wrap up, I just want to ask, there's a question we always ask our guests.
Okay.
It's like a question that puts you on the spot a little bit.
Oh, wow.
So, but it's a very easy question.
All right.
Right now, you have people who want to say support Ndiyazazi, I Am Enough, right? There's sponsors, there's collaborators, there's audience members who want to participate. We basically want you to ask the people watching or listening, ask for one thing, but you can't ask for sales. You can't ask for money. You can ask for customers. Well, you can ask for, but you can't ask for direct sales. Yeah. Ask for something, but not money, not sales or customers.
Okay. I would say collaboration.
Okay.
Into growing together kind of attitude. Your 2 cents and my 2 cents can come up to a 4 cent.
Okay.
And if I am growing with you, we can go far.
Okay.
But if I am gonna continue walking the journey alone, then it's going to take me a while to get to my destination. But if I've got you next to me, we can go far.
Thank you very much. I guess it's safe to say that's an official invitation to people watching or listening. Ndiyazazi is open to collaborations. Well, obviously for the right reasons.
That's correct.
For the right purpose.
That's correct.
Mentioned, and for just not just for financial gain.
No.
but for
Exposure.
contributing to the society.
Yeah. Making an impact together.
All right. Thank you very much. I think it's safe to say we can wrap it up here. Thank you everyone for listening. We are Zuke, and we basically turn hustles, ideas, projects into businesses. As you heard in this podcast, we're not just hand to mouth ish. We know there's a place for it, especially when you're starting out, but we're trying to build something. Well, we're trying to create this ecosystem that allows you to build something for the long term, for sustainability, or something you can hand over to your kids. So feel free to reach out, follow our channels, get in touch to see if you qualify for some of what we do and some of what we offer. And yeah, go big.
Or go home.
We actually just put the full stop because you're like, home is not even an option. Well, thank you.